Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, and thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to watch the video. I always appreciate that. And if you guys have watched my channel very long, you sort of know that I'm sort of a historian in the sport. You know, I've been in it a long time. I find the history of the sport, where it came from, fascinating. I was been reading about Bassmaster magazine and pro fishing since I was in grade school back in the mid '70s, and I've got a lot of respect for the people that came before us, and I think about that a lot. And today's video, I got thinking about this after watching one of his YouTube videos today. I want to explain to you guys why I think that Roland Martin is the most influential, most important angler that has ever, and maybe person, not just angler, maybe person that has ever been in professional fishing. I'll sort of go over that a little bit. And I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion too. But hey, just real quick before we get started, just a few housekeeping tips from Andy. Just wanted to remind everybody that on my channel, I'm offering memberships to the channel. I could give this membership pitch every week. If you guys are interested in getting extra videos not seen by the public, access to my personal email address, just go to my YouTube homepage, click on the About section, and click on Intuitive Memberships. And it's a great way to support the channel if you want to do that. Also, real quick, I wanted to remind everybody that of Johnny and I, our bass camp through Fish the Moment, we're going to have in Springfield, Missouri on November 6th. It's going to be an 8-hour seminar, Johnny and I in person, limited to 30 people. It's going to give you guys all the juice here in person, so you can sign up for that at fishthemoment.com, and also check out our fishthemoment.com lake map breakdowns while you're there. Okay, let's talk about Roland a little bit here. I was watching, actually yesterday, Roland posted a video on his YouTube channel talking about how to get more YouTube subscribers to people, because he's up to 150,000 subscribers now. And I got listening to him, and I've listened to him a lot, and I've known him a long time. I fished with Roland before. I've known him forever, fishing around him. And I got thinking about this. You know, he's 82 years old. I've never seen anybody that's 82 years old that looks as good as him, or has the energy he has, or just the presence. The guy is super sharp for 82. It's unbelievable. I wouldn't be surprised if the guy lives to be 110, you know. But anyway, after studying Roland and everything, and a little bit about the history of it, I think he's the most important dude that pro fishing's ever had. He started out back in the 60s when pro fishing just started with bass. He was a guide back then. You know, he was I guess he'd just gotten out of the Army. He was a rifle range instructor in the Army, went into fishing, went into guiding, and he was one of the first guys to help put the Bass Angler Sportsman Society on the map with Ray Scott. You know, he did these Bluebird bus tours all over the country, growing the bass membership back in the early 70s. All this type of stuff was extremely important for building the foundation of what we have in professional fishing today. It's where it all began with. And, you know, Roland was right there in the trenches from the beginning, working with Ray Scott, working with Bill Dance, all the stars that were around back in the early 70s. And then as the 70s started to progress, the 70s and 80s, he had a run in professional fishing that has never been equaled. 9-time Bass Angler of the Year. I think he's won 20 Bassmaster tournaments. No telling how many runner-up events he has. It's just, and that's back when they didn't pay anything. The guy probably, without a doubt, would have been the all-time leading money winner in the history of pro fishing had he won those events in the modern era. But, you know, his performance back then was unbelievable, and at the same time he got into television earlier. Him and Bill Dance were one of the first two guys that were into television to bring mainstream bass fishing to the public back in the late 70s, 80s, and early 90s. All through the whole time, doing seminars, continuing the fishing, all that type of stuff. And Roland became a big television star through pro fishing. And even today, with his YouTube channel, he continues to contribute, and the stories that he tells and the ability that he has to bring the past to life is invaluable in my opinion. Roland Martin was one of those guys that I remember, like I said, sitting back in my 5th grade grade school at Duquesne Elementary in Joplin, Missouri, reading about Roland Martin, and there was something about his pizzazz and his energy and his excitement that motivated me to be a professional angler. I mean, he was the one that, one of the guys that really, had a big impact on me back then. And not only me, he's had an impact on people, throughout the course of his career. He's also been closely connected with all the major movers and shakers in the industry. Forrest Wood, again, Ray Scott, Johnny Morris with Bass Pro Shops, all the guys that have really built the sport to where it's at. Roland Martin was and continues to be a huge part of that. I mean, he is going on now, 60 years. I mean, not 60, but 55 years of, being, right there at the forefront of bass. I mean, he's like as much now in the forefront now with his YouTube channel as he was back in the 70s when he first started out. But one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, I think it's really important for bass anglers today to have an interest and have an appreciation into the history of the sport. I mean, I'd highly recommend everybody out there to go to the Bass Fishing Archives Facebook page. Terry Batista, he's got a Facebook page that's called the Bass Fishing Archives that brings the past alive, back in the 60s and 70s and all that type of stuff. And I think it's very important to do that. And it's very important that we honor guys like Roland Martin and Bill Dance and Tom Mann and, Basil Bacon and, Rick Clunn, Nixon, all these guys in the early days, because they're the ones that are directly responsible for us being where we are right now. And I don't see that. I see a lot of, out there a little bit now, I see a generation of anglers that are oblivious to that, guys. They're absolutely oblivious to that. I've talked about this before, I've been to so many sport shows and so many tournaments where a lot of these younger anglers, they don't even know, or they've never even heard of some of these past Bassmaster Classic winners before. They may know who some 23-year-old Elite Series rookie is, but they don't know somebody that like Billy or like Bobby Murray that won 2 Bassmasters Classics back in the 70s. And I think it's almost, if it was up to me, there would be some type of a standard requirement before you could be a professional angler that you had to have some type of a history lesson into professional fishing. I just think that we owe that to everybody that has come before us. I think, in not only Roland Martin, I think we owe Roland a tremendous amount of gratitude for what he's brought into the sport and continues to do so, but so many people before him. So that's just sort of my 2 cents on there. And the older I get, the more that I realize how important that is, that doesn't get lost in the past. I think that guys of the 60s and the 70s were some of the golden eras, maybe not the 60s much, but if you look back between that period of, say, 1973 and 1976, there's a 3 or 4 year period in the 70s. To me, that was the golden era of bass fishing. That's when it started exploding. That's when it went from like nobody knew about it to like everybody wanted to start being a pro. That's when companies started to be involved with it and that type of stuff. And Roland Martin had a huge part of that. So anyway, if you haven't seen it, check his YouTube channel out, Roland Martin Outdoors. He's got 150,000 subscribers. I watch him every day. He gives a YouTube video. I don't miss it. I think it's great. And just wanted to throw that out there. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. Appreciate y'all tuning into the channel, and we'll see y'all later. See ya.
Bye. Bye.
Hey, you guys want to say bye?
Bye. Bye.
Okay, see you guys later. Bye. Bye.